They won't see it coming. They'll wonder how you moved so far, so fast, without shouting, without showing, without asking for applause. They'll scramble to explain your rise. But the truth will escape them, because the most dangerous man in any room is the one who says the least. Not because he lacks power, but because he has mastered it. We live in an age where noise is the currency of attention. Everyone's performing, everyone's selling, everyone's screaming to be seen. But the loudest one in the room is never the strongest. The loudest is often the weakest, broadcasting what they wish they were. Trying to convince the world before they've convinced themselves. The real power doesn't knock. It enters without a sound. And when it arrives, everything shifts. You don't have to shout when you know where you're going. You don't need to prove anything when you've already built it inside. Power isn't noise, it's presence. And presence is born in the furnace of inner silence. Do you know what silence really is? It's not the absence of sound. It's the presence of control. It's where the world stops telling you who you are, and you start deciding it for yourself. Because when you strip away the noise, the distractions, the opinions, what's left? You. Just you. Raw, unmasked, undeniable. That's where the work begins. That's where domination is born, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not in conversation, but in solitude. Not in what you say, but in what you become. Think of the greatest minds: Edison, Lincoln, Carnegie, Tesla, Ford. They didn't rise by running their mouths. They rose by sitting in silence with a question until an answer came that could light the world. They sat with fear and didn't flinch. They sat with doubt and refused to bow. They sat in silence and turned inward, not for comfort, but for command. You see, silence is where the weak confront themselves and either die or transform. If you can learn to sit in that fire, no distractions, no dopamine, no applause, just you and your mission, you become unstoppable. Because now, your power no longer depends on anyone else. Not on their approval, not on their recognition, not on their timeline. You move when it's time, not when you're told. You strike when it matters, not when it's expected. You dominate in a way they can't predict, because silence is your weapon, and they have no defense for what they cannot hear. That's what separates those who last from those who flash. Longevity is built in silence. Fortunes are built in silence. Legacies are built in silence. But first, you must confront the war inside. That endless noise telling you to rush, to chase, to compare. That voice whispering, "You're not enough yet, go prove something." Silence it, not with louder noise, but with presence. You don't kill the ego by yelling at it. You kill it by starving it. Let go of the need to be seen, to be validated, to be liked. That's the first test. Can you stay quiet while you build? Can you walk alone while others gather in circles? Can you execute while they explain? You must be willing to disappear for a season, to come back with something the world has never seen. And they won't know how you did it. Because the true ones, those who really dominate, move in silence. They plant seeds in private that one day shake the earth in public. Let them talk. Let them flex. Let them run their mouths. You're not here for noise. You're here for impact. And impact speaks louder than words ever could. You want to know who's going to win? It's not the one who posts the most. Not the one who talks the biggest game. It's the one who's building when no one's watching. The one who wakes up before the world does. Not to be seen, but to sharpen his edge in private. It's the one who doesn't need the world to clap. Because he's already set the scoreboard in his own mind, and he's not leaving without the win. That's the killer instinct. Not rage, not ego, but quiet, focused, relentless execution. No audience, no noise, just the sound of discipline. That's the power of silence. It becomes your edge. Because while they're addicted to validation, you're addicted to results. They chase followers. You chase mastery. They rehearse how they'll look. You rehearse how you'll strike. You don't just move in silence. You evolve in silence. You grow without broadcasting. You train without clout. You become a weapon forged in shadows, while the rest are too busy trying to look like something they haven't earned. You know what's louder than words? A life that proves itself. Because when you walk into the room, they feel you. When you speak, it's rare, but it lands. And when you act, it's final. That's the power of a man who has sat in silence, cut away the noise, and carved his purpose into stone. So if you're still talking about it, you're not ready. If you still need to explain yourself, you're not there yet. The silence must break you first. So you know what you're made of. So when the time comes to speak, to act, to lead, every move is backed by truth, not noise. And when the world finally hears from you, it won't just be sound. It'll be a statement. You want power? Then stop chasing attention and start cultivating presence. Because real power doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't beg to be seen. It doesn't explain. It commands. Not with noise, but with certainty. When a man walks in full alignment with his purpose, when he's been forged by isolation, tempered by failure, sharpened by discipline, he doesn't have to say a word. The room adjusts to him. That's what silence builds. Gravity, presence, undeniable energy. So while they try to be loud, you go deep. While they race for popularity, you build legacy. While they flash the surface, you master the foundation. And when the lights go out, when the crowd leaves, when the applause fades, only one question remains. Did you become the man the silence was shaping you to be? Because in the end, it won't be your words they remember. It'll be your actions. It won't be your promises. It'll be your presence. It won't be your noise. It'll be the echo of your results, still ringing long after you've left the room. So shut the noise, embrace the silence, and let your life speak so loud, you never had to.